progress.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Exponential Files. We're the podcast which highlights the stars and the up-and-coming stars of the eXp Realty family. I'm Jim Lowenstern, and my co-host is Larry Laufer. Today, we have a very special guest, and that is Glenn Sanford, who is the new CEO of eXp Realty. He is also the chairman, CEO, and treasurer of eXp World Holdings, Inc. We will be talking to Glenn today about the current real estate market, eXp, of course, and we would like to begin with questions about a new division at eXp called Success Health. Welcome, Glenn.
Hey, Jim. Thanks for having me on. Hey, Larry. Good to see you.
Great to be seen.
Let's start with this question. In the industrial age, Glenn, there were companies that wanted to integrate all their services so that they had top to bottom benefits for the company. Is this how Success Health was conceived?
So Success Health was conceived a couple of different things. One, it kind of came because of, in real estate sales and sales in general, it's really, you invest a lot of time and effort in personal development. And so Success Magazine was actually something that was fairly formative for me. I'd bought the magazine over the years, listened to CDs. There were a lot of people who've been involved in this 125-year brand. Napoleon Hill was involved with it at one time, Og Mandino. There's just a long list of people that have been involved over the years. And so we had an opportunity to send the magazine to all of our agents starting around 2018, 2019. And we did that. And as a result, we became the largest single customer of Success Magazine. And so we ended up having an opportunity to buy the magazine. And I thought the brand was amazing because we believe in personal development. And so for us, it's like, hey, we'd love to steward it as a brand. Once we started to own it, we started to think about, what are all the things that Success could be involved in? So we looked at a number of different categories. But earlier this year, in I think it was September, might have been August, but September, I think it was, I went on a longevity retreat. So I'm investing a fairly sizable amount of money to go on a retreat to learn the absolute latest cutting edge of health. And that was for me personally. I've been on a personal health journey for most of my life, but really since 2019, I had some health issues that kicked up, but I really needed to attack hard. I was 225 pounds. I'm now about 185, so I'm 40 pounds less. And there were some heart things that were going on, pressure in my chest, a bunch of stuff. So I was on this journey to figure out what the heck was going on. And then I went last year to the same retreat, and this year I went. Peter Diamandis hosted as part of his A360 Platinum retreat on longevity. So I went, and in there we were hearing so many cutting edge things about health. And I've been doing biome as one of my regimens, and Naveen Jain, who's the founder of Biome, was there. And Debbie and I got a chance to spend some time with him. And what came out of it was, why don't we have something for our agents to help them learn a lot of the things that I'm spending a lot of money on? I mean, it's just for one person to attend, it was like $70,000. But they had some of the best, most cutting edge scientists in the world talking about health and longevity. And this was super cutting edge stuff. So we immediately bought the domain name Success Health while we were there, and came back and said, what are the things that we need to incorporate into this to give agents a advantage in understanding their health? I was personally, as an agent, I sacrificed my health in order to do the things we do in real estate. Put food on the table, put a roof over our head, and then ultimately pursue the business because it's a great business. You can make a lot of money in real estate if you get a few things right. You get the sales right, you get the marketing right, get the follow-up right. And it's kind of, once you're good, it's also somewhat addicting to pursue that more than maybe other things that you could be doing in your life. So a lot of times we'll sacrifice our health. And it's not just real estate, but I think a lot of people sacrifice their health to pursue wealth. I'm in a different part in my life where I'm like, I really don't need to sacrifice my health anymore. But also I'm recognizing there's a few simple things that if agents did or anybody did, that it could change the trajectory of their health before they have a crisis like I had in 2019. And so that was really the kind of the thing. We looked at a few things that are going on. One, we've got technology now that can measure everything. I've got an Aura ring on here, so that really measures my sleep score. I'm wearing my Apple Watch. We actually set up a Close the Rings challenge for eXp and Success for January 1st through January 31st, or the last day of the month. So we've got this contest going on in terms of just keeping active and moving and that type of thing. And so you can track, there's all these wearables to track stuff that's going on in your body, on your body. But then what I was really impressed with Biome, and that's one of our pillars in Success Health, is that you can actually measure what's going on inside. They very inexpensive test to you as an individual. It's expensive when other companies put it out, but they put this test out, and you can take this test, your blood, your saliva, your stool, it goes back. They sync. They actually take your RNA, how your genes are being expressed, and they can actually read to some extent what's actually going in your body in real time. And then they're able to take that data, and through an app, they're able to show you what foods you should eat, what foods you shouldn't eat. So they have their superfoods, which are, everybody's going to have a different set of superfoods based on nutritional needs, et cetera. There's going to be avoids. Things that you would normally not think are avoids could be an avoid for you. I had a couple of them that were avoids for me were blueberries and tomatoes. Now, for some people, tomatoes can create acid and other things, but in both cases, my body was actually testing positive for viruses that these fruits and vegetables, actually, they're technically both fruits, but these fruits have. And so I cut those out for 30 days before I reintroduced to my diet. And so for me, it's really helping me gamify my health. I did the test a year or so, 2 years ago, calendar years ago, back in, I think it was November of 2021, I did my first Biome test. And that's why I started to take Biome. My biological age came out at the time I was 55. It came in at 54 years old. And I redid the test after the longevity retreat this year and did the same test. And based on the things that I did, including doing the Biome portion, I dropped my biological age from 54 to 48, which means that my body is operating like a 48-year-old versus my biological age being 56. And so for me, it's like, there's a few things that I did. They weren't that crazy. Exercise, move more, change your diet up so that you're eating healthier stuff, and then measuring with data what type of impact it's making. And for me, that was the game changer. It's like, once you can measure it, you can improve it. And so that was really kind of the thing. And like, we just made it a pillar of Success Health.
So I'm guessing. I'm sorry, Larry. I'm guessing you're feeling better on this Biome than you were previously feeling.
Yeah, I think Biome definitely is playing a role. I think the one of the things I really liked about it, and by the way, we're an affiliate of it and that type of thing, but we also negotiated the best discount of anyone that currently has any sort of relationship with Biome, including even Biome themselves. So if you go to successhealth.com and you jump on Viome. It's a great program. But what, for me, I'm all about gamification. So if I can gamify things and I can see the data around it, then makes it much easier for me to do the right things that I should be doing. So the diet piece is key, but the diet plus the exercise plus the supplements. And the supplements, by the way, the cool thing about Viome is they actually make the supplements for you that's specific for you based on what's going on in your microbiome today. So you do your test, they create prebiotic, probiotic that's specific for you, and then they create supplements that they've got over 100 different vitamins, minerals, and amino acids, other things that they can put in your supplements that's specific for you. And it's literally replacing hundreds of dollars a month of supplements that I was buying that I didn't know which one was I should be taking. I just read another research report and go, oh, that sounds cool. And so I go buy another bottle of that. And so $50 here, $75 there, $30 there, $150 there. My vitamin regimen has dropped from probably, $500, $600 a month in supplements to more like $150 a month now.
I think what's most exciting to me, Glenn, is that of any other of the real estate brands out there, you are really being front and center in work life. That you're bringing life as part of it because when you live better, you can help better. Is what I think. Am I getting that right?
You are. I spoke at an event, and this sounds very counterintuitive, but I spoke at an event on Wednesday in Miami. And the phrase that I said, and I'll say it here because this is being broadcast as well, is there are folks that are in the real estate industry, any industry, but there are people that should, work a little less to make money and a little more on their health. eXp, we're a real estate brokerage, but it doesn't do any of us any good if you get sick and you can't, take care of your loved ones and family and others. There's magic in taking care of you as a human being.
Right.
And over the long haul, it has financial benefits even to eXp as a brokerage. But if you look at your typical short-term shareholder quarterly income modeling, most people, they just want more and more and more, and they don't think about the long-term implications. So for me, I'd rather think about the long-term agent and their future, and I want every agent to live the longest health span they can possibly live, and be able to do the things that they want to do, and in some cases need to do for their family.
So Success Health and eXp, is there some tie-in, some direct benefit, maybe an additional discount, or is it the same discount for anyone that goes to Success Health, regardless of whether they work for eXp?
Yeah, so you can go to successhealth.com and you can sign up. You don't have to be with eXp to take advantage of Success Health, and to get that. And it is the best discount that's available to anyone. So if they do the buy-on portion, we do have I think the Aura Ring, which I've been wearing now for 2 or 3 years now, and it gamifies my health. We just worked out a deal, I think, where you can get a little discount on the Aura Ring. You can also, I think, do the Whoop. I think we've got that in there, but we're kind of looking at, what are these game-changing technologies and seeing if we can put 2 or 3 of them into the Success Health piece. There is Success Health coaching. And so for those who want to get some extra one-on-one coaching, we've got some, great folks that are part of that are both certified certified coaches, but also have a health nutritional background that can, if you're looking for the extra support, that's available as well. Another piece that's pretty unique to eXp, very unique. In 2018, I think it was, maybe it was 2019, but I think it was 2018. we were the first company in residential real estate to create what is, for all intents and purposes, the equivalent to health insurance for a independent contractor real estate agent. It's not health insurance, it's health cooperative, but the benefits are as good or better than you can get on the marketplace. So if you go to the marketplace, and it's in some cases, $400, $600, $800 a month less expensive,
Right.
because we're able to work with what is generally a healthier cohort than is, than sort of how the marketplace works in general. And so you're able to get great health coverage exclusive to eXp through our eXp healthcare benefits. So that's a really unique one where, and then I've been facilitating a meeting, and we'll see what comes of it. But I've been facilitating between Clearwater and Viome. Actually, I've got meetings set up for those guys next week, where if individuals are also on Viome, they'll actually be I think there's going to be a slight discount even on that for agents who got the health benefits coverage, and they're also on Viome, because we think that there's data that would support that those individuals that are actually proactive on their health are less expensive to cover. It just makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you talk about the ring just a little bit, Glenn? Because I have no idea what that ring. I saw it in, online, and then you mentioned Whoop, I think it was. What is
Yeah,
that?
so I did the Whoop for a bit. I did the Whoop and the Aura Ring. For me, I like the form factor of the Aura Ring better. And I also am wearing an Apple Watch. So a lot of the stuff that Whoop does, I've already got covered in both these devices. But the Aura Ring, if I'm not wearing my Apple Watch, it'll track my heart rate, body temperature, O2 levels, heart rate variability. And for the most part, what I use it for is to track my sleep quality. And so if you get, if you get the right amount of sleep and you get the right quality of sleep, it just changes the game. So when I started to gamify around using the Aura Ring, not to say that I was a heavy drinker, but when I would drink, I would, like anybody else, I'd have 2 or 3 drinks, and the next morning I'd pay a little bit of a price for it. And but I really didn't think too much about it. Once I started wearing the Aura Ring, and I was looking at what was called my readiness scores, it kept on telling me every time I had more than 1 drink that my scores went down. And now I, for all intents and purposes, don't drink. I mean, I might have 1 glass of wine every 2 weeks now. That's the extent of my drinking. So I say, so
the sugar and the alcohol it disrupts your sleep.
oh yeah. And so I basically say, if you really like drinking and you don't want to stop drinking, don't get an Aura Ring. Because once you start to look at the data on the Aura Ring, you're going to go, why the heck am I doing this to my body? That's kind of the uptake of it.
So what about blueberries and tomatoes? Are they back in
Yeah,
your
so I can
diet?
eat those again. Yep, those are back in my diet. So in those particular 2 cases, they were, because I was testing positive for viruses in both of those fruits. It basically said, hey, cut it out of your diet for 30 days, and then you can add it back in. So basically, it wanted to allow your body to kind of process those viruses out of your system before you reintroduce. Now, I'll do the test again, and I did the test in September, and I want to do it every 6 months. So here in a couple more months, I'll do the test again, and then it'll update my what I should be eating, fruits, vegetables, and all the other things. And also, also my supplements. So I'm going to do that every 6 months. You get a kit once a year, just if you're on the program in general. But if you want, you can always order extra kits and more frequently, just to see, if you're making the impacts in the areas that you want to make an impact in.
Tomato is one of those fruits that can cause bruising. It slows down that process of getting rid of. That's why Tom Brady doesn't eat tomato anymore.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, I don't eat tomatoes very often. It never was one of my favorite vegetables, but of course you order a salad and unless you tell them not to put tomatoes on it, it always comes out with tomatoes on it. So
But Glenn, is there anything about the original mindset when you started eXp that, 12 years ago or how long ago was that stays with you today, and what has changed over the years?
yeah, so we started the company a little over 13 years ago. As noted, I'm back in the seat of the CEO of eXp Realty. One thing that was interesting, 2009, when we started the company, we started it in a really bad housing market. And not that we're in a market like 2009, but market is a lot more challenging today.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that was different then, and well, one of the things that's the same today is I think it's a great time to be working with agents to help them level up their businesses. One of the reasons why I'm doing the video here with you guys, I did videos yesterday, did I think two or three with different agents and brokers. I spoke at two different events earlier this week. Is agents are looking for where they can maximize their business, and they're looking for a platform. They're looking for leadership, and so what I decided to do was to get back into the CEO role. And I was CEO, then Jason was CEO, then I was CEO, then Jason was CEO. Now I'm back to CEO again. So we kind of went back and forth on it, but it allows me to be more front and center, be more directive with the team, and to make sure that we are truly the most agent-centric real estate brokerage on the planet. It takes a lot of work. I mean, it's not like you just come up with a concept and everybody just comes to the model. It's both an attraction, recruiting, and then there's a retention piece, which is we need to make sure that we're continuing to iterate and create better product services. Also, be better at the stuff we're doing. Scale is great, but it creates lots. I mean, we have to relearn how to organize as an organization the bigger we get. And so that for me is the continual reinvention process. So from that perspective, we're just a 86,000 agent startup versus a 24 agent startup in 2009.
I think one of the really fascinating things, Glenn, is so many of the agencies, and most agents have been with more than one, possibly you, back in your day,
Yep.
that everyone says that they care about the agent. You actually, the way that eXp is set up, show the agent that you care. By the 50% of the commissions go back into building this business and integrating all of these services. That's what we meant by talking about the industrial age when business really changed. And I see eXp really changing the real estate business and putting in the hands of real estate agents the tools for them to be personally successful and then successful within the franchise. Franchise is the wrong word. Within eXp,
The brand.
the brand.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's a holistic approach. I always look at real estate from a perspective of a focus group of one. And when I say that, it's me as an individual agent. I kept on looking at what are my pain points. And a purpose of business, a couple purposes. One, serve the needs of the owner. You have a real estate business. Is it serving your needs? Ask yourself the question. It's a great question to ask. If it's not, then you need to make some changes. But the other piece is that it truly needs to solve a pain point for someone. It needs to actually solve a fundamental challenge for a group of people, and hopefully that group of people is fairly large. That creates large businesses. And so for us, the biggest thing was I recognized very early on that there literally was no retirement from residential real estate. This is the only industry where people don't actually retire; they die, and it's just the way the independent contractor nature is set up. It's eat what you kill, and if you can't get more clients, then you're kind of out of business. And a lot of people don't know where else to go other than real estate, because real estate can be a very good paying business, which in itself is its own trapping as a business, because you can make 10, 20, 30, $50,000 in a commission, maybe more depending on the size of the property. But you think about that, that makes it really tough to take a more traditional job where there may be more work-life balance. So for me, I was like, well, how do we solve for this? Because it pays so well that you want to be able to make sure that if you get hit by a bus, it doesn't impact your family, et cetera. So that was really the need, is like, how do I make sure that at the end of the day, I personally have a business that if I leave for reasons that are out of my control, that my family will still be taken care of. And if that's my need, then there's lots and lots of other people that have that same need. So how do we build a business that does that? And what are all the things that need to be in that business to make sure that it grows and scales and provides those benefits over the long haul? And so that means fundamentally, if you're not an agent-centric business, that business model doesn't work. You've got to be 100% focused on the agent, because that's who you're trying to attract and who you're trying to build with. And I've always been very I've always approached it from a very humanitarian or humanistic perspective. I've always wanted to mentor people. I've mentored tons of people, even really early in my career. It was something I did naturally. And so for me, I wanted to attract people like me. And sure enough, you guys are here.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, you basically have said what I say to people, but you said it so much better. I tell people that eXp is something unique to business. It's not unique to real estate. It's unique to the way people approach a career. It's unique in the way that they approach even beyond their career, their retirement. I can't think of another company that has implemented as many benefits for its associates as eXp. Glenn, if you know of one, tell me. Maybe I'll work there.
Well, if I find one, we will adopt whatever their best practices are and bring it into eXp. So
Exactly.
there's no need for you to move. We'll just continue to innovate.
Absolutely.
So here's a question. So I've got a magazine. It's called Castles Magazine, and I would like to have one of the many divisions, or you've got all these I call them success suite businesses. If you had to pick one to go into the magazine, which one would you pick? Would it be Viome? Would it be Success Coaching? Would it be eXp Commercial? I mean, what would it be? I'm curious.
Yeah, for the Castles magazine, for your specific magazine.
It could be any magazine. They were going to give you a page in a magazine, but it would only be for one business that's operating under eXp World Holdings. Which one would you choose? And why?
Great question. Well, it'd be up for debate as to which one. Success Health, I think, has universal appeal, meaning that in a lot of respects, everybody can focus a little bit more on their health. When we think about, this year there's going to be 4.2 to 4.5 million homes sold, which would be the lowest number of homes sold for quite a few years. But real estate touches people's lives from a transactional perspective. If you are a homeowner, once every 7 to 10 years, that's a fairly low number of transactions, and we have a good portion of our country are renters. But I think everybody can focus a little bit more on their health. I also think that if I was to, I'd think about one more piece is that I think real estate is such a great career, second career for a lot of people. I think that real estate itself is one of the most approachable careers that you can actually earn a reasonable amount of income in. And if obviously you're good, you can earn, you know, great income. So I think about the idea that if I was thinking about careers, I'd almost think, you know, are you looking for a second career? Are you good with people? Do you have sales and marketing skills? Have you considered a career in real estate? You know, it's going to take some time to cut your teeth on it, but 2024, 2025 come around, it'll be a great time to have built your skills back up because, you know, it's a great career to have in your back pocket.
Yeah, so my New Year's resolution up to this point was to become really an expert with KV Core, so I could be a coach and a mentor for my agents and teach them how to generate more business, you know, more easily. Now I'm thinking the next thing is learning about vinyl because their health is as important as the work component. So I'm gonna
Glenn,
read up.
how is it that people can be in touch with you if they wanted to have more questions or follow up on anything? Is there a way to be in touch with you?
Well, if you're at eXp, you can certainly send me a message on Workplace Chat.
Sure.
I caught up on all my messages yesterday. It took me about 6 hours, but I literally answer every single Workplace Chat message.
It's daunting.
So for me, that's kind of my main one. That's how we connected.
Yeah.
So that's my key one. Outside of that, you know, you're going to have to jump through some hoops to get to me because I've got too much going on.
Thank you
That's
so
fine.
much. Thank you so much. It's absolutely awesome to have had you as our guest. We really appreciate you.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Yeah, I just
Glenn.
realized
Thank
I've
you
got
so
to jump
much.
to another meeting. So thanks guys.
Thanks so much. Tune in next week for another great show of the Exponential Files, where we'll have somebody awesome that you can listen to. Thanks so much. Good to see you, Jim. See you next week.
Good to see you, Larry. See you.